Although I am attempting to go, I am being pursued by a Ripple and a Circle. Due to the fact that Circle has already started the game, you should profit from this situation. With regard to the doubleheader that we had today, I was required to make this. There are a couple more videos that I would like to make, but this one has to be released and distributed right away. At this time, we are going to play a video clip that features Caroline Hill, who is currently working for Circle as the Senior Director of Global Policy and Regulatory Strategy. Previous to this, she had been employed by the United States Department of Treasury for a period of 7 years. The financing of terrorist organizations and other financial crimes as a result, she is completely knowledgeable about the topic that she is talking about, as well as the ramifications and reasons that are behind the construction of pipelines. In a moment, we are going to discuss what they are saying when they say it, which is when they should be saying it. Clip, but before that, there was a great deal of information that I needed to put into the space available. You are all aware of the public video that I have retained and have played for you on several occasions. You are also aware of the trust bridges and money flows that were disclosed by the International Monetary Fund in March of this year, which you all remember. Incorporating it into additional documents and citing you for what he is actually saying, maybe in a short amount of time and to a large number of people. Right now, everything is completely comprehensible. The implementation of a global stablecoin, which might be either a global currency that is exclusively controlled by incentives or a private firm that is solely controlled by incentives. A private company is something that deserves to be subject to the highest levels of regulation, and at this very moment, all of the pieces of the puzzle are coming together in a way that is just perfect. Furthermore, the actions that they are taking behind the scenes are completely logical. Please find attached the document. A regulated private company that offers a number of significant advantages, such as the resolution of the coordination problem that is associated with the centralization of participation and liquidity provision, the provision of governance that is both transparent and reliable, operational stability, and full compliance with standards for financial integrity. Additionally, it states that the central bank or any other business that is creating the tokenized money is already subject to severe regulations for regulatory compliance. As trust costs continue to decrease, it is clear that you guys in Ripple are doing everything right. The writing is on the wall. I mean, if you guys actually understand things at this point. In the near future, I will be sharing with you some movies that feature USDX, XRP, or whatever we decide to call the stablecoin on Ripple. Because I am certain that this will be successful, I will be sharing these movies with you. I believe that this is one of the most significant announcements that Ripple has ever made, and it is also one of the most memorable announcements. When I release my future podcast, I will explain why. Now, however, let's talk about the reasons why Tether is falling apart. It is possible that you are aware that I have been discussing how precarious Tether is. That is something that we will discuss today, but today everything made perfect sense, and I also discovered this tweet from Ali. The Ripple network is about to destroy Tether. As he continues, he asserts that Ripple's unannounced stablecoin that is backed by the United States dollar will cause Tether to collapse, and he is not completely insane. The explanation that he provides for this is that the reserve assets will be subjected to an audit by an independent accounting firm. It is what the policy directors of Circle have indicated. The statement was made by Ripple once again today. A stablecoin is a cryptocurrency that is designed to provide reliability and transparency. It is supported by a reserve spiral that is 1:1 cash. Ripple will immediately issue monthly attestations of the assets, as well as information regarding what is extremely unclear once it is available. This occurred prior to the creation of it. According to what you are aware, Tether has recently started to be transparent. Despite this, things were far more shrouded in mystery 2 days ago. In point of fact, you did hear that. A couple of days ago, the completion of Tether was achieved. The initial inspection that they are conducting on the SO2 kind is similar to a very high-level audit, but it is being carried out in the year 2024 only. Ripple has been in compliance with CO2 regulations since 2021, in addition to the fact that Tether merely finished this 2 days ago, and that Caroline Hill is expressing this regarding tethering, which is something that some of the Circle policy directors want. Tether conducted study. Those companies that you have just mentioned have our touch points, and I believe that the United States government needs to make sure that it is making use of its power when there are touch points from the Treasury. It gives the impression of lacking the required authority. To the best of my knowledge, it submitted a number of suggestions to Congress near the close of the previous year, with regard to expanding their jurisdiction such that it encompasses some of those actions. In my opinion, no company should be allowed to use the United States of America dollar as a point of comparison without first adopting those democratic values into the business and delivering the United States dollar back to its previous state as a stable currency. Therefore, if Treasury believes that it needs further authority to do so, then this committee ought to take that additional authority into consideration at those touch points. It is believed that Fitzgerald, a financial services business based in the United States, manages the $72 billion Treasury bond portfolio that Tether possesses, which gives him access to cash from the United States. Consider MS Hill, the link that Tether has to the United States. As a result of Cantor Fitzgerald's management of the Treasury, you ought to find Kerr's backing of terrorist organizations and criminal acts all over the world to be intolerable. Have the authority to take action and determine what should be done with relation to businesses that are regulated in the United States, such as Cantor. Given that this is a touch that may be utilized, it appears to me that the Treasury Department would be able to take action. Yes, and I really hope that they are treating this matter seriously, taking into account the reputation of Tether as well as the facts that they are sponsoring terrorist acts and other horrible deeds that the United States commits. It is imperative that the government pursue these platforms using every accessible tools at its disposal. Encouragement can be found in the numerous enforcement actions and measures that have been taken in the Bitcoin anti-money laundering field in recent times. It is imperative that responsibility be established, as failure to do so will render Tether unable of surviving. Furthermore, that individual was a member of Circle. I am unable to recall his name, but all of the directors of policy were present, and it was the end of the year for this particular administration. Circle asserts that it is not transparent while simultaneously focusing on Tether. Despite this, I am very certain that everyone is aware that Tether is not being genuine. There was a misuse of bogus bank accounts by Tether. It was only the previous year, so please give me a break. People keep an eye on things, and in 2021, Tether submitted a request to the court to prevent the release of certain documents. In 2019, Tether made the announcement that it would be the beneficiary of an inquiry. You have an understanding of the reason for that. They were compelled to make the payment that they did because the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem experienced a crash lasting $1 billion in just 1 hour. For their wrongdoings, they were required to pay fines that amounted to a total of $18 million, and guess what else they were required to pay? An extra $42.5 million in penalties, which were issued in October, are imposed left and right in 2021, and fake bank accounts are formed from the beginning using false papers. October was the month in which the penalties were levied. It has been brought to my attention that Tether is a problem, and I have come to the realization that it is I'm not sure how to phrase it, Tether. If the ecology were to collapse, it would not be beneficial. However, considering what lies ahead, I do not believe that Tether will continue to exist for another 10 years. When it comes to pipelines with regulatory certainty and what Circle and Ripple are developing, Tether might just disappear. However, if it is very corrupted, it might stick around because if Tyler is completely involved, we already know how corrupt they are and how far they have come. If Tether is highly corrupted, therefore it might stick around. It is possible that it will remain for a few years into the future. And for anyone who is interested, the Abima update that I uploaded to YouTube has had a substantial increase in views today. Due to the fact that I was unable to prepare a video in time, the percentage reached as high as 600%. Make a profit, but don't behave in a greedy manner. It is unclear to me how much higher the monetary guideline will be. It is inevitable that this will take place nonetheless. Despite this, everyone should emerge victorious. Observations to conclude. I would want to provide you with a concise summary, gentlemen and ladies. I was informed by Caroline Hill that that was the year. Only a few months before, when we were discussing the importance of conducting research on tethers, you are going to be subjected to a storm, and believe me when I say that I do not want it to take place. There is no way I would ever want to go to the collapse, since it would be a terrible experience. To put it another way, XRP might go to 20 cents for everything. 10 cents will fall if Tether experiences a crash, which will push the price of Bitcoin down to between $30,000 and $29,000. Even though God knows, you are all aware that if it crashes, it will not be beneficial